Hi everyone, I want to show my character that I have been playing the past week in PoE for the launch. So we started as a 5-man team, 6-man if you include the trader, and we wanted to do group play efficiently and try to get a lot of currency. So we have been working on setting up the Atlas, just learning how to play together. It's the first time for pretty much all of us to actually do any kind of group play. And I have the magic finding role. There's also a DPS aura bot, there's a curse bot and a defensive aura bot with taunting, and we have me with the magic find. So my job is essentially to last hit everything that the DPS character brings down to 1 HP, wearing the southbound gloves that disallow them from killing anything. And I have a lot of item quantity, a lot of item rarity, and make sure that we get all of loot. So for that, we basically stack a lot of uniques. In fact, literally every single item in this setup here is unique. There's very few items that give increased item quantity, and you want to have all of them. So you want to stick them all into your build and then somehow try to fix your stats and your resistances, mostly through the tree. There is also one blue item, which is this helm, which has increased rarity and the aspect of the spider. And we have a white wand, an assembler wand, that gives charges every 6 seconds, which is quite nice because they last very long with some stuff I took on a tree, and I share them to my party members. And the reason we are wearing this is because of the aesthetic, which requires you to have a normal and a magic item to be functional, and the rest is just basically the maximum quantity items in every slot. There's a gold worm, Hibiscus leash, Sadima, Paria ×2, Greed's embrace, and the Centauri's answer. Now there's one more important quantity item, which is the Divination Distillate, and this is the main reason why I made the tree the way it is. So this is my tree right now. I am a Pathfinder with lots of extra Flask charges and Flask effect, most importantly. So we take all the Flask nodes here everywhere and try to essentially keep this thing running at all times. Now the thing with Hybrid Flask is the effect will end when you reach maximum mana and maximum life. So you have to find a way to keep this active without actually regenerating. And there is a way, which is the Soul Catcher, which says cannot gain mana during effect. And this makes it so that we can attack with our little bit of mana. And you see I have only 6 mana now. I think our maximum that is not reserved is like 31. And we don't get any mana now. And this means we can use the Divination Distillate and not go to full mana. And lastly, there's the Lavianga Spirit, which makes it so that your skills do not cost any mana during the effect. So again, we need to be not at full mana, which is 31 right now. We attack, and now we're at 6, and then I can use both my Divination Distillate and the Lavianga. So usually every around 3 seconds or so, I just press both the flasks, and then you're fine, because they fill up extremely fast from being a Pathfinder. As you can see, I'm just standing in hideout here, and my flask is just getting to full in a matter of seconds. The reason for that is that I have a lot of extra flask charges gained, and also I took the mastery here, life and mana flask gain 1 charge every 3 seconds. This gets multiplied by flask charges gained, and it also counts double for the hybrid flask itself, which uses 20 charges. But if I pop this here, then you can see that it will fill up in 10 charges at a time in a matter of seconds. The main part of my gameplay, besides a little flask minigame, is just spamming Kinetic Bolt, which looks like this. So here we just try to last hit everything and get the killing blows so that we get the item quantity out of it and the item rarity. So we find lots of uniques and other stuff. And this is linked with GMP and life gain on hit, combustion, item rarity. So the really important one is item rarity and GMP, I'd say. So you have like a good coverage, and then you have like a little bit of extra utility that you can stick in there with some minus fire res or some life gain. There's lots of things you could do here, but this is really like the 3 link is the main requirement. I don't even have a 6 link here because there was not really any point. Now most of the offensive and defensive auras are covered by the other party members, so I just bring some smaller utility. For example, I have a Purity of Elements, which is mostly there for the elemental ailment immunity. We have a Tempest Shield just for some spellbook for myself because my life pool is rather low in this setup. And I also have a Petrified Blood to make myself even more tanky. This resurrection here is super strong to keep you alive. In fact, it gives me something like 40 or 50% extra EHP, So instead of like 3.7k HP, I have something like more like 5.5k against the one-shots at least. And this is really the main thing you care about, because we have Wind Dancer to prevent one-shots, we have this to prevent one-shots, and we are just quite tanky in general. So even with the rather low life pool, I stay alive very easily, basically all the time, because I can use my flasks, I have the life gain on hit, and as long as I don't run into the middle of a big pack, I'm totally fine. Other than that, I just try to stick in a lot more support skills. So for example, we have a Frenzy. So usually I share Frenzy charges through Overcharged, which is here on the tree, which gives me a 12% chance to gain Power Frenzy on Endurance Charge on kill. Power Charge is kind of irrelevant because our DPS is playing Assassins, so I have them anyway, but I give Endurance and Frenzy charges, and we have 100% charge duration. So first of all, we get them from the wand, and I can also generate them myself with Frenzy. So when we fight a boss, for example Maven encounter or something, I can just spam Frenzy a bit to share them to the party members. I also have an Enduring Cry for the endurance charges. And then there's a bunch of other things. There's a Flame Link that I can put on my DPS player here for extra added fire damage. We have Dash, of course, and the Steel Skin just for utility and survival. And there's a bunch of other things, for example a VAR Lightning Trap, which can apply extra damage taken. So usually I throw this on the boss as well for 20% extra increased damage taken. We have a Chaos Golem for more defense, and we have a Summon Holy Relic, which gives like a minor amount of extra life regeneration, which is then turned into energy shield regeneration for the entire party, because everyone else is playing with Chaos Inoculation and Zealous Oath, so they have their life regeneration applied to energy shield. And lastly, I also have a bit more exposure coming from an Arcanist brand with a Conviction, so I just put this on a boss or something, and also a Hydrosphere, which also applies a bit more damage taken for Cold and Lightning. And like this, we have basically all the exposures covered, and I can bring a bit more DPS. So all in all, this Magic Find character is a nice rounded package of bringing a lot of extra loot and some utility like the extra charges for the group, and some increased damage done like through exposure mostly, that I just throw on like the difficult targets and the bosses. Now for the tree, it is not 100% optimized yet, so here's the POB right now, and this is essentially what I have in game. So you can also see all the stats here, and the link is in the description. There should be an Elegant Hubris, which is a timeless jewel that you want to put here with the right number. It can give you the item rarity on some of these mods here, so I think there would be one here and one here and one here that you want to take. Depending on which role you have, basically, there's a few that you can put there, and this would give like another 100% increased rarity. But this is not really the main concern anyway, it's just something to use to optimize later on. Right now in game I have 100% quantity and 236% rarity increase just standing like this, and when I activate my flask it's 121 bonus quantity and 285. And that's also it for the overview of my character. This is what I've been playing so far. I do have 2 characters leveled for solo play as well already. One of them is going to be a Cyan with Energy Blade, and the other one a Burning Arrow Elementalist, so quite excited to play those a bit, but I will share those at another time. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll have some more PoE stuff coming up very soon, and see you guys next time.